Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So I have my crystal ball off to the side. I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. Channel members, you'll have a collective message post Monday evening, so definitely check that out. And if you're interested in channel memberships, that link will be in the description box below. Magician's Tier and High Priestess Tier, your live for this month will be taking place in the next few days. It may have to go over into the first, I have to see, but I will make a post about that here in the next couple of days, so definitely keep your eyes open and check back on my community tab on my profile page, on my channel page, if you don't see anything, because I'll announce it here either today or tomorrow. So let's go ahead and let's begin. Taking a step aside. Okay. Allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. Whew, okay, so, wow, there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to, where do I even start? I want to word it in such a way that it addresses the collective before they click off this video thinking it's not their message. So what direction do I go in? What direction do I go in? How do I cultivate my joy, right? How do I find happiness? How do I find peace here? How do I, all those things. We have the page of, the Two of Wands, so there is a decision in direction here with the Chariot card. Now, what I have over here is the Seven of Cups. This may be presenting itself with a little bit of confusion at this time. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay out the energy that I'm getting, and then I'm gonna explain some more with these cards probably before I pull more. We'll see. There seems to be a little bit of a pause that's taking place, and in this pause, I'm feeling like my hands are bound, and so with this hands being bound, I may feel stuck. I may feel swords energy. I'm seeing the Nine of Swords. It may be a little, or the Eight of Swords. It may be feeling trapped inside our mind, right? We may not even realize that we're trapped inside of our mind. This message seems to be coming through from a collective of joy guides. So for some of you, not all of you, you may be having some sensations take place in your solar plexus region and your heart region as you're listening to this reading. This is a confirmation from that particular joy guide that this reading is for you. One of the things that's taking place is that we're very focused on how do I make myself happy? What do I want, right? And there seems to be a little bit of getting trapped inside the mental space. Some of it's going to look like, for some of you, I can't do this because of this, or this is too hard, or this is, all those limiting beliefs, right? Those are limitations that we place on side of ourselves. The focus of this joy guide is to bring out the possibilities, to focus on the possibilities. You may be having insights about how to do this. You may be seeing videos or seeing readers that are talking about this a lot. You may have someone in your life that is challenging you to step into that space. I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune as I'm talking about that. And really, I'm seeing a wheel, and it literally is the Wheel of Fortune from the game show. And so I feel like I'm supposed to talk about the card Wheel of Fortune. With the Wheel of Fortune, one of the things that would be coming out with this for that to happen is we may feel like everything's up to luck, right? Oh, that's just not meant for me. And, there's a message here that the thing that you want, the reason why you want it so much is because your soul is basically trying to navigate you into that direction. The problem is there's lots of lessons to learn before we can sync up to it, before we become a match to that thing. Now, this period of hold, this stagnant period, for some of you it feels like stagnation. For some of you, you understand that you're just waiting. I'm getting High Priestess energy, so it's like I'm waiting and I'm observing and I'm trying to decide my next moves. I'm really trying to think this through. For some of you, you feel stuck inside your heads, right? The thinking, the overthinking until you find yourself back at the beginning and you're overthinking again, right? So there's two storylines here. And but what's essentially happening in both storylines, no matter which one it is that there is a composting taking place deep in the subconscious spaces. You may be having shadow material come up. You may be realizing that you have issues that you're kind of working through or that are coming up right now if you're not familiar with shadow material. Either way, there are some old programs that are starting to bubble up that are trying to be reviewed right now. A lot of you, it's going to be relational. It's going to be between yourself and other people. For some of you, it's going to be old programming about yourself, right? What you're capable of, what you're able to have, what you can achieve, and what you're allowed to give yourself, your own value, right? So with this material coming up, the reason why it's coming up now is because there's something else that's actually growing in that space. There's some other program that's starting to grow, and this is going to be evidenced by changes in perception, right? Our perception starts to change. It starts to open up. I don't know why, but I'm seeing like a weird teddy bear, so I don't know if that means anything to anybody today or during this reading. There's something about a weird teddy bear, like a rejected teddy bear. I'm almost seeing like one of those old toys with like the button eyes or something, like a teddy bear that we forgot. For some of you, this might be a symbol that, as I'm stepping into that, I feel that for some of you, this might even just symbolize things about rejection in childhood maybe coming up. Okay, so I'm being told to move on from these cards, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to these cards. We'll probably swing back around knowing how things work over here. Let's see. We have the Eight of Cups. We are trying to leave something behind. When we have the Eight of Cups, there's something emotionally that we're trying to leave behind. This may be something emotionally taking place external to you. It may be something internal. These may be old emotions that we understand no longer serve us. When we have the Eight of Cups, this represents something that was built that we're trying to move away from because we're on the quest of something more meaningful. Again, this is a stop on the hero's journey. That's been coming up for the last few months for this collective. Okay, this is a slow process, and that's okay, right? This is kind of the message from the Joy Guide. I do feel in this space, because of this, there's a lot of either abandonment wounds or rejection wounds or shame, right? And usually those all go hand in hand with each other. There is this energy here that someone has to not feel that way about themselves in order to get through this process, right? So this may be coming through from someone's Joy Guide, basically to say, lighten up, it's okay, right? This is a slow process. It's going to take time. For others of you, it's just to let you know, like, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. This is something that's going to take a lot of time. The Page of Pentacles moves very slowly, or I'm sorry, the Knight of Pentacles moves very slowly, but the way that he moves, it's a gradual change, but it's a major change, right? It's a solid change. So whatever direction we're moving towards, whatever emotions we're leaving behind, this may take a while, but it is happening. And so this is confirmation for somebody that what it is that you're trying to accomplish, what it is that you are trying to put behind you, you are doing it. Don't get frustrated with yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You are doing it. This is navigating us towards this direction, and this direction is this, the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups is somebody who has mastery over their emotions. They understand what's inside that cup. They understand how to give the cup. They understand how to pull it away. They understand when that's appropriate, right? The King of Cups is somebody who, on the positive end, he's very in touch with his emotions. On the negative end, for me, he can become a little bit more like the negative aspects of the King of Swords. He can shut those emotions off, and he can become quite cold. Now, with this, however, with this King of Cups, what I'm seeing here is that his hand is on his chair, right? So he understands he sits on his throne. He has his own agency. He understands that he's self-sovereign, and he has the cup in front of him. He's not necessarily extending it just yet, but he has it in front of him. What this means is that someone here is learning how emotional responsibility and emotional control, right? I know what is my emotions. I know what it is inside of me that is causing these emotions, and I understand when my emotions are being negatively influenced, when to withdraw those emotions and to go, again, that High Priestess energy that came through, to pull back just a little bit. Now, this is really good for what I'm seeing over here, because this is a process where we're understanding that we don't necessarily have to continue in the same way. One of the things that I see over here is that we have this Page of Wands to the Chariot. Now, the Chariot is ruled by Cancer. Cancer is the crab. It has that hard shell. This may be a process of more vulnerability. Again, the reason why this is being echoed here is by the Six of Wands. Now, the Six of Wands is success, but it's success because battles have been won, right? So what are we trying to have success with here? Some of you, there may be I want to point out the fence on this imagery, right? There may be some struggles with boundaries, and whenever we have an issue with boundaries, we tend to engage in power games, right? Power struggles. So there maybe have been power struggles in our past that we're trying to release. Maybe we feel that we lost a lot of power in some situation. These are all things that are coming up right now to try to be healed. That theme, right? Not necessarily the situation, but the theme that we move on with, right? It's what we carry into our present from past situations. These present emotions, these present energies are things that are trying to come up for review right now within this collective. This joy guide is coming forward. I see that it's being symbolized by her. And so a very fiery, sort of witty kind of character. For many of you, for some of you, it might be small and it might be funny if you do have experience with your joy guide. But here, what we have is we have this energy coming forward of I have the staff and I know what direction to point it. I know which way we're going, right? So when we adopt that energy of being more lighthearted, of allowing ourselves to play, we suddenly have the clarity of mind to understand what direction it is that we actually want to head in. For some of you, it is deciding to be in a difficult situation in order to work on things and to alchemize things, right? Now, it's interesting because this Page of Wands has the wand behind him. He's not in control of that wand. Here, the Queen of Wands, she's got the control over it. So the direction that we may be heading in while we feel a little stagnant, it's almost like that stagnation in that direction, if you are having doors closed to you, they're not going to open up until you're ready. Again, there's something composting. And as this thing composts, that's what's going to really add the fuel that we need in order to have the new perceptions that cause us to step into a place of greater strength, right? Some of you, greater availability. Now, as we step into that space, that's when those doors open and that energy moves. We can never move in our life in a direction that we don't necessarily have the tools to handle, right? If we do, what happens? A tower moment. So it's almost like the inability to move right now, the inability to maybe even make a choice right now. This is in some ways designed. Right? I don't like to ascribe it to being designed to something outside of us. I do like to ascribe it to being designed by like a higher part of our soul, or for me, a deeper part of our soul, because it knows that whatever direction we're trying to go in, whatever we're trying to create for our life, this is a very important moment and we have to get it right. So whatever it is, there's quite possibly lessons that we've already learned tapped into this, right? We may feel like, man, I just learned that lesson. Why am I here again, right? That may be an energy that somebody's in. It's because there's still some sort of tool that we have to integrate, and we can only do that by going within. When we have the, and I'm going to say this, this now is throwing me into a whole like Odin energy. The reason why is we have the Magician under here. He is very Odin-esque. And then we have also the King of Cups, who has the two ravens. So, and then we have the Hangman, which is the story of Odin. So here what we have is we have one eye turned inside and one eye looking outward, right? When we get into the mythology of this, we're hanging on this tree for 9 days. We're getting the knowledge of the forces of the universe through these symbols, and we're understanding greater control, greater mastery. We're learning how to step into this space of the Magician. There's a tool here that's vital for our spiritual evolution, for our understanding of the oneness, for our understanding of who we actually are, in order that we must learn, in order for this sort of indecision or holding period to open up. And this is why this joy guide is coming forward and saying, don't feel ashamed, don't feel guilty, don't berate yourself, don't get too frustrated. This is all part of the process, right? You're in a little pocket of the process where you have to stay put for just a little while in order for you to understand self-worth, in order for you to understand how to get good and angry about something for some of you, in order how to learn what you deserve, in order to learn how to make effective choices, in order to learn what it is that you really want. So this is a very important time, and it's not a time to be rushed, right? Okay. Where are we going? I'm doing that thing where like my eyes are scanning and then I'm feeling over here. Okay. again, this Father card that's coming out is just throwing more Odin vibes to me. I do believe these two cards came out together in a reading about 2 weeks ago, which I find kind of interesting. Now, this means something to me. This is actually the card for me about this particular guide being, whenever I have this is my symbol about a very protective, comforting guide. And so I feel that that's what this joy guide is trying to do. It's trying to provide comfort at this time. It's almost like in a space where we're padded and we're being protected from going in a direction, not necessarily by this guide. This guide is just there supporting us through it. But from a space of self where our subconscious isn't necessarily allowing us to make choices to move forward or to do this thing or to go over here, giving us the insight, because this is a moment that's very important. What we do inside this moment, what we allow to cultivate, the perceptions that we create, the beliefs that we have in this moment are very important. They are the evidence of our evolution, right? Did we learn the lessons? Did we learn how to love ourselves, to give ourselves patience? Did we learn these various things that we're supposed to be learning inside this environment? And what will we take forward into the future, right? This is a very important moment for somebody. Here with the Father card, this is just throwing me back to this idea of shamanism and Odin and the world tree. And it's not literally about the father. Some of you may be having certain father issues come up or issues with the masculine energy. This for me right now, if you are somebody that meditates, if you're somebody that does practices shamanic journeys, this is a really good time to dig in and figure out exactly what's going on, right? Who are we? What do we want? What might we be missing here? And not to get frustrated, not to force those answers, but to have a dialogue with the self to open up that conversation. Sometimes we are so busy forcing ourselves, which again, you know, that comes back to that pressure and that guilt and that shame that we place on ourselves. Sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to perform that we can't, right? That we can't actually come up with the thing. The information can't come out because what is that pressure? It's an energy block. We're creating our own energy blocks. Allow yourself to be like this joy guide, lighten up, right? One of the advices that's coming through in this, and it's funny because it's one of the interpretations I have for this, because for myself, I love nothing more than to go backpacking in the forest and to leave, you know, the civilization behind me. So for some of you, this is going to be important. It's going to be something that is required. If you are a person that likes to go out into nature and have a pilgrimage, right? Go out there, unplug. Others of you, you know, Capricorns out there, nothing better than a pen and a notebook. Grab yourself a new pen, grab yourself a new notebook, you know, do whatever it is that you do with those items that brings you so much joy. For some of you, it's reading. You know, for some of you out there, it might be going and, like, you know, getting your hair done. It might be going and buying a new outfit. It might be going out with good friends, having good food, right? Do something for yourself. Do something that you enjoy. Maybe it's taking a nice bubble bath. Maybe it's something that you don't even know yet because you don't take time out for yourself. Allow yourself to have that space. Try to carve out that space, even if it's for 5 moments, even if it's something inside your mind and it's daydreaming about something that you really enjoy. Do something for yourself, because the whole point of this is that we have to release this seriousness that we've placed upon ourselves that might be keeping us stuck. Inside the deeper spaces, there's information. And if we approach that space with a dialogue with the self to say, you know, I'm ready now to see what it is that I need to learn, over the course of days or over the course of a few weeks, you're going to notice that things start happening inside of your life, right? Sometimes the answer that we're looking for, we're used to, you know, human interaction. I ask you a question, you answer me. That's not how this works. That's not how the spiritual spaces work. They work in energy, right? So sometimes you might ask a question and a guide might answer you, or you might get hit with an inspiration. More oftentimes than not, though, you're asking for something and it takes time for the energy to weave into the answer. And the answer isn't always this string of sentences. It's the experience and the perception that you learned. That is the answer, right? Open the dialogue, the answer will come. Understand it's not going to come in a sentence that's human, right? That's human. It's going to come in the energy of your life, the energy that changes within you, and the perspectives that you adopt. Those are the answers to the questions that we ask. So whoever this message is for, I hope that this resonates for you. I wish you the best of luck with this. If it resonates, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment, and until next time.